Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. Today, we're tackling something pretty major, something with potential global implications.
Yeah, no kidding. We're talking about the potential mass relocation of Gazans.
Exactly, and we're basing this whole deep dive on some leaked excerpts from a draft plan, a plan that's proposing some, well, let's just say controversial relocation options for Gazans,
It's certainly raising eyebrows around the world.
to say the least. So to kick things off, let's lay out the basics. The core of this proposal, and this is where things get really interesting, is that it suggests moving Gazans out of the Gaza Strip altogether.
And not just anywhere. This plan specifically mentions Ramon Airport and the Ashdod seaport as potential departure points.
Yeah, you heard that right. Ramon Airport way down south and Ashdod up on the coast. We're talking about transporting people over 250 kilometers.
That's a massive logistical undertaking. Just imagine the coordination involved in moving that many people, ensuring their safety and well-being along the way.
Not to mention the security concerns. This whole thing is mind-boggling.
It is. And before we even get to the logistics, there's the human element. This plan would uproot an entire population.
Exactly. It's a sensitive issue with very real human consequences, and it's sparking some strong reactions. Some Israeli politicians are calling this creative, a sign of strong U.S.-Israel ties.
Right, but then you have others, especially those in the Labor Party, who are saying, hold on, let's focus on getting our hostages back before we even think about something this drastic.
And we can't forget about the Arab Party ministers who are calling the proposal outright dangerous and inhumane.
Yeah, there's a lot of pushback. And to understand why this is even being considered, we have to zoom out and look at President Trump's broader vision. His goal is to convince, well, more like persuade, wealthy neighboring countries to not just absorb the Gazan population, but also fit the bill for reconstructing Gaza.
So this relocation isn't an isolated event. It's a piece of a much larger and some might say riskier puzzle.
Exactly. And if this were to actually happen, well, the ripple effects could be huge.
Imagine a reconstructed Gaza. Could that be a path to stability in the region? It's definitely a possibility.
It is, but we also have to acknowledge the flip side. The displacement of Palestinians on this scale would be unprecedented. We're talking about potential benefits intertwined with some serious ethical challenges.
It's a tough one, for sure. And it's not like this idea came out of nowhere. President Trump has mentioned Egypt and Jordan before as potential destinations,
He has, and let's just say neither country was exactly jumping at the opportunity.
which highlights the complexity of the situation. Everyone has their own interests, and finding a solution that works for all parties involved seems, well, almost impossible.
It does. But let's try and wrap our heads around this a bit more. We've got a potential mass relocation on the table, a range of reactions from cautious optimism to outright condemnation, and a clear link to President Trump's bigger geopolitical goals.
Right, and with all that in mind, I think the biggest question we're left with is this. If this plan were to actually move forward, how could we possibly ensure this relocation is done ethically and sustainably?
That's the million-dollar question. What role could international organizations play? How do you even begin to address the human cost of something like this? It's a question we all need to grapple with.
It is, and it's something we all need to be talking about. This is a conversation that's not going away anytime soon. It's why we do these deep dives to explore these complex issues and hopefully get people thinking.
Exactly. We're all in this together, trying to make sense of a complicated world. Thanks for joining us on this one. Until next time.
See ya.